Hello and welcome to SoulWhat. I am the oh so serious one who sometimes cares a little too much what you think. I'm Michelle Welch.
And I'm the not so serious one. Doesn't give a damn what you think. Roger Welch. And welcome to Soul What? So, what's going on, Michelle?
Well, you guys, you may notice that we are kind of in a new set for our podcast. And I've got Roger with me, my husband.
A little different look altogether, right?
Yeah, right?
No long brown hair?
Yeah, well, so Megan and I have a show, Third Eye Thinkers, and Megan is wonderful. We've talked several times on the phone today, yesterday. She's finding his house, even,
Yeah.
right? She's a lady of like many talents and has many wonderful things going on with her. And hopefully she'll be on the show many times with us. And I had a show here before at Soultopia. Soul shenanigans. It was always
Soul shenanigans.
very shenanigans, right? It
Tough
was
one to
always
say.
very hard to say. So we decided to start producing our shows out of Soultopia, and hopefully there will be a lot of other shows that we produce with other hosts, right?
Exactly. We've got a lot of people asking about it, talking about it. I think we're
Yeah.
going to have a few more times during the week we can do this.
Right. So we are coming to you, just going to dive right in tonight with our first topic. What we want to do, you guys, is kind of do what we do at Soultopia in general. We want to not really be offering classes. We do that anyway. We have them online. We have a store for you guys. We have classes in the stores. We want to be open to anyone, any belief system, wherever you are on your journey, whether it's a spiritual journey, whether it's not a spiritual journey, whether you're just looking for something interesting to listen to or to watch. We welcome anybody. And we try to welcome people without judgment. It's sometimes hard to do. Everybody says, "Oh, I have no judgment," but we all have opinions about things. So we're definitely going to have opinions. And Roger and I will often agree, and often we will disagree.
Disagree on it.
Yeah, we
Occasionally.
occasionally we disagree a lot, but we try to work through those things, and we'll do that here on the show. And what we're going to do is kind of bring up some things that sometimes you guys may totally agree with, and sometimes you may totally disagree with, and that's just fine. And we want to know your opinions. We don't ever mean to tick anybody off intentionally, but in the store, what we try to do is say everyone is welcome. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We kind of like to look at what we're hearing in the store, what we're hearing in the town, what we're hearing in our community, what we're hearing in the country, and what of the United States, and what we're hearing actually in the world,
Exactly.
and maybe even the cosmos, right? And one of our big things we've been hearing about lately is a lot about witchcraft and witches. So that's why we decided to do this topic, riding the witch wave.
It's everywhere. TV, movies. I was up last night watching a documentary.
Yeah, so when were you watching that documentary?
Oh, yeah. I accidentally had a new power drink at like midnight. I was still up at 4 a.m. Finally dozed off around 5.
So y'all, he's diabetic. That is not so cool.
It was,
like really.
no, it was at 0, no sugars.
Where was I?
You were knocked out.
Honestly.
I didn't realize it was a power drink like Red Bull, but it's actually double what Red Bull is.
How'd you find out?
Will told me.
My gosh, he would
He's
know.
like, you know, that's like double like a Red Bull, right?
So what were you watching? History Channel or what is it? The
No, it was
Ancient
actually.
Aliens.
Oh no! Last night, because since we were talking about witches, I thought, well, let me see what's on Netflix on witches. So I found this show, and it was talking about the witches that were persecuted and killed in, England, Scotland, before they ever came over to the Americas.
Okay.
So it was really, pretty interesting. It was a little dry.
Yeah.
And I thought being dry, it might put me to sleep. It didn't work, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was interesting because I was doing research, and here's the thing. I don't claim, well, first of all, we're going to just disclaim this because I'll be the disclaimer and he won't care, right? Like we said at the beginning. So, there is a religion. Many of you will know, and maybe many of you are members of the religion. There's a religion that's Wicca, and that will encompass kind of a part of what we're talking about today. We're not going to do a class on it, but we're not Wiccan, and We're not members of that religion. I'm a card-carrying member of another religion that I grew up in. And we're not going to attack or support really any religion today. We're just talking about this trend of witches.
Yeah.
And so you're not Wiccan, right?
Nope.
Okay. But would you consider yourself to be, well, first of all, just tell me, what do you think the definition of a witch is?
I think a witch is really more of a naturalist, somebody that moves energy and uses energy for their own from anything from manifesting love, abundance. But I really think it's somebody that uses all of nature and its energy.
Okay. So here's the deal. So I'm the one who's going to research everything, right? So when you look it up, there's going to be a lot of different sources and opinions, even on the etymology of the word, the genesis of the word witch. There's not a whole lot of an agreement even. It's almost like a big dissertation on where that word came from. So let's break it down. I'm not going to give a whole class on this, you guys. So, there will be, one thing is at Soultopia, if we're not an expert in something, and basically I'm never going to be claim to know everything. And if somebody does, and they're your teacher or they're your person you go to, I'd run because nobody ever knows everything.
It's hard to know everything.
Okay, so, but I did a little research, and here's what I found. Basically, the word can mean a lot of things. It's known to mean wise, so wise one, someone who practices the craft would be a wise one. It's been known to mean to bend. It's actually been known to mean an averter, someone who gets around something, so averts. To bend, as I said, a prophet, a seer. So it really runs the definition of the word runs the gamut of a whole bunch of words, just like the word witch now would run the gamut of meanings of, there are so many different types of witches, from a solitary witch to a green witch to
kitchen witch
to
sea
chaos witch, all different kinds. Solitary, I think I said, or just somebody who's in an organized group. And of course, we didn't even mention, it goes back a lot of times to before that, to the pagan beliefs. So that's kind of your short little, very brief synopsis of a little History Channel.
Oh, wait, it gets better.
Lesson. What?
So I got two things. One thing I checked out today was, during America, when the Salem witch trials, what was classified as being a witch? You're going to love this. Young girl. Well, first off, sex. It was 3 times female to males. So if you're female,
I thought you meant having sex.
No, not having.
Okay.
Well, we'll get there. But if you were a actual female, you were looked at as being a witch. Sorry, they thought you were a witch. If you were old, like really old, you're a witch. If you're really young, you're a witch. See where that's going?
Yeah.
If you were having lots of sex, premarital sex or
So
any
pretty
of that,
much, and pretty much
anything
all
like
of
that,
that
you're a
came.
witch.
Yeah, and pretty much
If you
all
have pets.
Oh wow. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
So
right?
pretty much all that came in, I think, when the old pagan beliefs and people were wanting to convert people from the old ways maybe into some different and new ways, and they didn't like them, right? It's pretty much when things started to change.
If they didn't agree, or if you didn't agree with the people, or they didn't agree with how you were living, you must be a witch.
Yeah. So that's when things started to change into what maybe we think of, or the way it sort of began to be demonized in a way. Okay?
Oh, check this out too. All right. So we talk about the popularity rising, right?
Well, that's where I was going to go. So
Okay.
yeah, because there's
real popular?
one thing we can't question is that now it's like super much
See it
on the
everywhere.
rise. Right.
Everywhere. Look at this. You know about hashtags on Instagram?
Yeah.
Hashtags on Instagram. Witch post, 8.4 million for just the hashtag witch. Just so you know, hashtag Kardashian, 3.9. Hashtag Donald Trump, 5.5, the big Cheeto. Hashtag Dallas Cowboys, woohoo, 2.2 million, that's it. Hashtag Christian, 9.2.
Where was which?
8.4.
Yeah.
Closing fast. Closing fast.
So it's interesting because not too long ago, Roger gave me some stat that he has nothing to back it up with, I don't think. Do you?
I really no, I don't. I don't even know where I heard it. I heard it somewhere that, and I think it was just kind of a cross between a couple of different people's information, their thoughts, but it was the stat was that which is Wiccan was the fastest growing religion in the U.S. But
Okay.
we did research that, right?
So I did research it. And so what I found out is that, first of all, it's really hard to track religions, organized religions, because of the separation of church and state. The government is pretty hesitant to, they say anyway, to track organized religion. They're a little funny about that, but there are other people who do that. So, and just as a caveat with Wiccans, you can't really track witches in that because think about it, not all pagans or witches are going to join that organized religion, right? So that's the caveat on that. And the fact that the Census Bureau doesn't regularly collect all the data due to the separation of church and state. But there are some independent studies. One of them, and Erica, maybe if you could pull up this chart, this is the one that is it's kind of the bar graph. I think it's not a bar graph. It's a, what do you call that chart? I don't know, whatever that's called. It's a chart. This was a study of a Trinity study, and it only showed through 2008, but it showed the rise of the religion of Wicca. But then in 2014, there was a Pew Research Center study. They ran another poll in 2014 that found 0.04% of Americans, which is about one, and this is America, okay, 1 to 1.5 million in America identify as Wicca. And they said, or pagan, which showed continued robust growth in the United States of America for that religion. So, but what was the biggest surprise?
No. But 1 out of 6 left the church.
So that was the biggest surprise out of the findings.
So they're actually leaving the church, and what are they doing?
But not leaving that church.
No. Leaving
any
church. They're getting out of the organized religion, is what they're doing. Leaving or not organized religion and out.
And so I think that's kind of sad, actually, for me, because I grew up in organized religion. And why I find that kind of sad is I think people are really searching for something different. And I kind of wondered why. Why is that? And I think a lot of people are asking why. And I thought about, why is it that people are leaving churches and of any kind? And by the way, I think I did find, and somebody can correct me if my facts are wrong, I do believe the fastest growing religion, if it's not Wicca, is Islam. I believe is.
I believe that's what we were talking about.
What I did find out.
That's what you found
in my census poll.
and that was
worldwide.
Worldwide. Worldwide. Yes.
Yeah, and the other was not worldwide. So we'll come back to why. But so kind of the thing I wanted to know is is this just a trend? Because I noticed it everywhere on social media, and and it's like, and by the way, I'm somebody who's on social media. There's so many people who get so superior and righteous about it. Like, I'm not on social media. I'm not on there. And like, okay, I am. Okay? Yeah. Remember, I wanted to post it there. I was like,
I know. I told her not to.
I'm not. And you were like, oh, yeah, you're going to get everybody mad at you. But do you ever hear those people? And then the next day, like 3 weeks later, they'll be like, oh, they're on social media. Yeah. Okay, well, stop correcting me for being on social media. Right? I'm on there.
I'm on there. So, like my stuff.
All right. So anyway, is it just a trend? What do you think, Roger?
I don't actually. I don't think it's a trend at all. I think what it is people are waking up. They're coming to more. They don't want to be controlled by the organized part of the churches. They want to be more spiritual, not religious. So I think and you see that a lot. People, they'll say, yes, I'm spiritual. Doesn't mean they're religious. It's like they don't like that part of it. Is where they're kind of going away from.
I think that's what they're finding, and I think that's what they found in that study of why people were leaving the church. Let's not say church necessarily, the organized religion. So we know that's definitely hit mainstream. The movies. The thing is that some of the practicing serious practicing witches, and we don't want to ever step on any toes here, but we might. Okay, they don't like it. Okay, so let's bring up the little bit of the hot topic here. So there's this makeup company called Sephora, and Erica, I do have a graphic for this. It was a Sephora. They were going to come out with a kit, and this was maybe about a year ago. Time flies. I'm not sure. Maybe it was by now 2 years ago. And they were going to come out with a kit, and a lot of people got really, really mad. It was a kit of fragrances. I think maybe they had about
a couple of crystals in
7
it,
or 8 fragrances.
some sage, some Palo Santo, wasn't it, or something like that?
And maybe some tarot cards or something like that.
Yeah, like a little deck, yeah.
And I think the problem in it was that and this was Sephora with another thing, I think it was Penrose or something like that. And so I think the problem was it was called the Witch's Starter Kit or something like that. And so it brought up a lot of hot topics, which we can't go into all of them tonight, or we'll run out of time. But a couple of those were, are they going to be dabbling in something they don't know what they're dabbling in? Because this is marketed to teenagers or maybe even younger. Are you joking with something that we take very seriously? Because this is our religion. What if, you put a cross in a kit, and you put something from the Catholic Church in a kit, and you sold it with fragrances? How would the Catholic Church respond to that? Would they like that? Somebody put that, I think, as a counterpoint on Twitter or something and Sephora ended up pulling it, and they didn't do it. Also, and I always say misappropriation, but it's actually, I think the correct word, I meant to look it up, is appropriation of, I always say misappropriation, but whatever, of, taking something that someone's religion and using it inappropriately, or taking it and using it as yours for capital gain.
Well, they're trying to monetize it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel about Sephora and what they did? And also, it's in Urban Outfitters. I'm going to tell you that it's at Five Below. They sell sage. It was also the fact that,
You go to
sage,
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's, any of those places,
But
they all sell it.
So this was specific. So a lot
But
of
it
hot
was-
topics came up. It was specifically about the witch kit.
Right, and that's how they try to market it, was directly towards that. They threw the labels on it and things. You got to look at it and I'm don't know, but I would say probably they were looking at it as, hey, look at this market. Let's tap into it. We can make some money here. I mean, probably really what they were going for.
Is that such a bad thing?
But what if, we were talking about this yesterday, and I can put my foot in my mouth or I can not, but you know what? There were the Christian wars, right? How many people really died, converting to Christian, to be a Christian? What if, a kid, 14, 15, 16, bought that kit and it's like, opened their mind. What if it opened them up to another world other than what they've lived their entire life? You kind of a catch-22, because in one way, they're probably just doing it as a marketing tool to get out there. But what if they did get it out there to people, to some kids, and it opened their mind up to being part of this community?
Right. That's
growing the community, growing, everything.
That's how I think about it, because I think that what is so bad about, and how do we know who actually came up with the idea? I mean, who's to judge their intentions? Who's to judge, is there something really wrong with, I don't know all the behind the scenes, but to jump on somebody for selling something and coming up with an idea, and how do we not know that, perhaps they had that belief system? Who's to judge what belief system they have and their right to sell a product? I can see both sides of it. I can see that it's a serious belief system for someone in a religion, but I also saw it oftentimes when in church, you would have a lot of, and there would be arguments over it. There would be arguments over, what do you do to get people to come in the door? How far do you go? Do you have, what all do you do to get people to be interested in something and to bring them in the door and to draw them in? I don't see the harm in it so much.
Well, plus it was overpriced anyway, so.
Oh, there you go.
It was
so
overpriced.
That was it. Way overpriced.
It's like those.
A lot of that stuff is.
Those what's her name? Those crystal kits that she came out with.
I'm not gonna say.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
were
we're
like
not gonna say.
$125, and they were actually only about $20 worth of crystals.
There you
Yeah,
go.
a lot of profit.
All right. We're not getting that controversial.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So another, Erica, the next one is the Christian Dior. There was a Christian Dior about a year ago. I think there were two collections, but they were based on the Mother Piece Tarot deck. And there's one dress, if you can show that one. I think it was
This is the one you wanted?
Judgment. It was $12,000, but
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
no.
But here's the cool thing about this, besides the $12,000, is that did y'all know that Christian Dior would pull tarot cards before his shows? Before his runway shows and his fashion shows, he did. So he wasn't misusing anything. He wasn't trying to capitalize on anything. This is something he used. This is something he utilized. So did anybody judge him? I don't know. But he used it. He integrated it into his shows. He also had some beautiful purses that I think I have a graphic of. And some others, I think it was, I can't remember. I think Gucci and another one. I'm not sure if it was Gucci. It was somebody else. But it says it on there. Some fashion shows, some designers that I can show you guys graphics of on there that came up with some really beautiful dresses and clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very mainstream.
Extremely mainstream.
But
Actually, it's been in the news lately, right?
with what?
Donald Trump.
So I mean, it was a little while ago, but with the Mueller investigations, you want to talk about it?
Well, there was a lot of Donald Trump calling the Mueller investigations as witch hunts. Yeah, so that doesn't go over very well in any community, really, but especially when you start talking about the witches and throwing that negative spin of a witch hunt.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, and I do have those tweets as graphics for y'all to look at. The thing is that when you take something very serious, whatever it is, and he probably had, I'm going to tell you, I think he probably had no idea that he was throwing out something derogatory, but who knows? I'm not defending him. I mean, I can't get in his mind. Don't want to. But he threw out twice that he called them witch hunts. And this was very offensive. And many women specifically, but maybe men too, felt that this was discrimination against them, the statement that he made. I think he was probably most concerned about Mueller coming after him. He probably wasn't thinking of anything else, but they took great offense to it. And some went so far, actually, there was a bookstore in Brooklyn that held a meeting where they actually, and I'm just going to say, honestly, I don't agree with this at all, where they put hexes on him, on Donald Trump, and on Kavanaugh at the time. And Kavanaugh was going through his, I can't even think of the word, for Supreme Court. And the Catholic Church kind of returned with prayer for Donald Trump and for Kavanaugh. And a lot of other witches responded with, we don't need to do that because Trump's just going to take care of himself. He's going to do himself in. We don't really need to take the time to do that. And really, on both sides of all these issues, there's always really a balance and a voice of reason. And there's always going to be people the reason that a lot of people get upset about these issues, I think, and the reason why most people stay level-headed, but there are the people who get upset, is because a lot of it does revolve, in my opinion, around feminist issues. I know there are male witches, okay? I know that. But I do believe it's the marginalized groups, it's empowerment issues and people finding their voice that haven't had their voice in a long, long, long time. And because of that, that's why I think this is here to stay. I also think you see a rise anytime there were enlightenments or revivals or times of revivals or enlightenments in history. It came in times of uncertainty. And because of that, I think that's why at Soultopia we see our doors being flooded and the doors of other metaphysical stores and call them whatever you want to call them, places where we're open to all kinds of of beliefs
Right.
or whatever you want to call it, people searching, is because people are feeling uncertain, right?
They're looking for something.
They're looking. And so, because of that, that's why I don't think this is just a trend. I think that people are looking for answers. And whether you're at Soultopia or you're somewhere else in the Dallas area, where there are a lot of great places to go, or a lot of friends I have, if you're interested in more information, we have great references in books, and you can talk to a lot of people here at our store. In fact, we have Soul Nature's Magic class going on tonight with Claudia, and I have so many friends in town and across the country and right here at Soultopia. All of us, if you resonate with us or if you don't, people we can get you in touch with. But whatever it is that you're searching for, I don't want to define that for you. I can help you research it, or we can. But I do know that it's in times where people are feeling uncertain, that they are looking for something else. And those are times when you have a real rise in people awakening, what I call awakening, and waking up to differences. And that's why I think you're seeing those numbers in the churches. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I mean, it's just, we get more and more people who are coming in every day, and they're just looking.
It's interesting how they come in and they say, we're new.
We're new.
We're new.
Where do we begin? What do we start?
Yeah.
How do we do it?
And my biggest thing is I want to know what they're searching for, because I don't want to tell them that my way is the way to go. Here's how I feel about most things. I don't think anybody owns any type of religion or spirituality. I don't think anybody owns it. I believe we're one, so we shouldn't be divisive. I don't think anybody owns Wicca. I don't think anybody owns has any ownership of anything spiritually minded. I think that's where people get in trouble, and that's where wars start, and they have forever. And that's where I see the problem always being, is where people, and even some of the things we've talked about, where there become clashes, is where people marginalize each other, and they don't understand that they don't have ownership of it. Right. And when you see people trying, and you know what I'm talking about, the first time years ago, when I was going to give a speech somewhere, and I walked up to give my speech, and boy, they were running late, and I was like, come on, it's time my turn. And a friend of mine was there, and I didn't know, but she's a high priestess, and she's always been so kind to Roger and I, and she was like, here, let me take care of it, because there was a group of...
It was actually two groups that didn't see things eye to eye, and one interrupted the other one's speech, and they started going at it together and wouldn't get out of the way and move on to the next speaker.
Yeah, and so it was my first kind of impression of like, oh yeah, that's why I'm not going back to anything else organized. It's not for me, you know. It was going to break out into all-out brawl. I'm telling you.
It also didn't hurt that it was in Texas here, and it was 110 degrees in the sun, you know, that day.
I was like, woo, no, we're not going to get into that.
Get out of there.
I was like, not into that. But what I'm going to say, why now? And I did write this down. I wrote, because people are searching, and yes, they are women, but I believe all people, they feel unsettled. And I did say most enlightenments take place during that time of uncertainty. So yes, the rise of female empowerment, but the rise of those who felt marginalized. But also just all of us, perhaps, beginning to realize we don't have to argue over who owns what religion, or what we call it, or what shape or form it has to take. If someone dabbles in something, or they want to learn about something, what's so bad about that? Or are they serious enough about it? Are you a good enough this? Are you a good enough that? Is this person a good enough fill in the blank? Who decides that? Like, who's the decider? And if someone decides they're the decider, well, what then makes them any different than all the other religions from a long time ago that came and did that to all the pagans of old? So that's why I'd say all the arguments and the things that go on, I don't buy into that, because to me that makes it no different than anybody else or any other of those things. And I'd say that for any belief. The minute we start putting those, like, I'm the decider and I'm the one who's going to judge how it has to be, I'm out. I'm just going to tell you, I'm out, because that's when, yeah, it's not good for me. So I know you brought some stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, some of this is actually my stuff. I was looking. I was like, all right. So I found a list, tools of witches. You know,
He
what
doesn't
they
need a
use.
list, you guys.
So I was like,
Anybody
wait.
here can tell you. If you
Well,
want to see a witch,
I
you're
wanted to
looking
see
at
like
one.
the basic. You know, what you need to start with. You know, really and truly though, if you really think about it, remember what I said. The witch part is really moving of energy and working with nature. These are just tools that you can add to. I mean, if you really want to go down this path, you can start on your own. You don't have to go out and buy anything, but over time, you're going to. I got most of these are mine. I just pick them up here and there, and I don't even. Actually, most of these I didn't even buy here at the store. I bought them other places, and then I buy them here
How
at the store.
dare you?
I know, I know. But I do buy them, and I sell them here at the store too. So, so here's the one I got in New York the other day. You probably saw it on Facebook. Michelle
Can you guys
posted
see
it,
that,
right?
Erica? Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah. So, we went to the Enchanted in New York.
Yeah.
And this is where I got it. Now, this is called an edame, okay? These are used for
I
energy.
call it a knife.
Yeah. It's a double-edged knife, okay? It is not used for sacrifice. It's not used for killing or anything. It's really what it's used for is energy, okay? Sometimes we talk about even cutting cords, cords between people, things like that. It's really used for spiritual. Technically, they're not even sharp. Now, it's me. My knives, they're going to be sharp. So I actually have two of them. This one and the one with the skulls on it. And they are both sharp.
He has more than two.
I only brought.
Let's be honest.
I only brought two because
Erica's laughing.
my hands were full when I left the house. Okay, they're not made for sacrifice. Don't worry, no animals or people were harmed.
Okay.
Okay, but this one is called a bowline knife. Okay, this one just has a single blade on it.
So sort of describe it, yeah.
So this one's a single blade. It doesn't have a sharp blade on both sides, just the one side. This one's actually designed, also not sacrifice, but it's designed to cut up your herbs. So remember one of the things is we clear space. We clear energy. We're burning sage. We can cut sage. So you can cut up your sage to put in your offering bowls. Pretty cool, right? So nothing scary at all with this.
You can also use those for like drawing your circle, right?
Yes, you can actually use them for drawing your circle, we have a broom. We have the broom.
If y'all can't see it, this is one big ass broom.
Can you see it? Yeah. This one I got from Austin. Actually,
Like
we have
Texas or Austin person?
Texas.
Okay.
We have smaller ones here at the store. I don't usually have any of the big ones. I can get these. Takes me a couple of days to get them, but I can get them if anybody wanted a big one. But we do have small ones here. Cauldron.
What's the broom for?
Oh, the broom. Well, Claudia's doing her class in the back, and she always Soul Nature's class.
Nature's magic.
Yeah, Soul Nature's Magic with a K.
Yeah, some people get funny about that.
You know why?
CK or the K.
The C is all illusion. K is real world.
Okay.
Okay. See there?
People get weird about that
Didn't
too.
think I knew that one, did you? But anyway, we jumped the broom. That's actually the clearing of the energy within the space. So what we use is the broom is to sweep away negative energy.
I'm so uncoordinated. I can barely jump the broom. I always have to have help.
Yes. So next we have the cauldron. This is actually just a small cauldron. There's a couple of different ones. So like this is a small cauldron that we would use for mixing smaller herbs or oils or anything in to burn. So that's what this is good for. It's also, you can mix like your salt, hold your salt in it, anything like that.
And of course, he has a big ass one of those too. So just if you really,
it's only like, it's not that big. It's like
yeah, and he gets really mad if anybody else messes
this tall.
with it.
It's not that big.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the other one. I've got the other little one.
It's big.
Yeah, I've got that one too. Bells.
Did you say bells?
Bells. Bells.
So what's a bell for? Because, fairies don't always like bells. And
I know. We got to get that negative energy moving, right? We got to move the energy is what it's for. So if you think about it, that's what we do with the bells.
Okay.
Okay. Chalice. Hey, here's these chalices.
Soultopia.
They say Soultopias. Probably can't see that, but
Yeah.
okay. So with the chalice, it's just like ceremonial. A lot of times, it's held either water or wine, but it's all based on ceremonial practices. Nothing
It would be
crazy.
wine at our house, but it's also for the water element.
Water element, yeah, water. Okay. Oh, whoops. Pinnacles. Earthly, any earthly matters.
People get all freaked out about that.
Nothing scary here. Pinnacles. Because it's actually on a pinnacle is spirit, earth, water, fire, air.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing crazy there. Just that's what a pinnacle stands for. And then magic wands.
Neil made that one.
Neil made this one. This is the one he made. It has a couple of crystals on it. He has a quartz in the top, and then he has a hillerite on the bottom here. But wands are made to move that energy around. Okay, it's not to cast evil spells like Harry Potter or anything like that.
I mean, I guess some people could do it for that, and some people have different intentions. But
have y'all seen that video? The girl that wants to be a witch in a day, and she has the Harry Potter wand, just because she thinks she's going to be a witch.
Yeah.
In a day.
I haven't seen it.
In a day.
Okay.
In a day.
She maybe could manifest that. No.
It's a lot of practice.
So the wand could also be used for your circle, for your because when you do works, you want to set a circle of protection, and you open the circle and then you close the circle.
Right, and that's what it is. And some of the things that I didn't bring out, I mean, it's pretty simple stuff like sage, sweetgrass, incense. Incense are great because they represent air, fire. You got it all right there. Salt for protection, salt for the circle. Mm-hmm. So one thing is that you'll find is you can start off really basic and just work yourself up. A few pieces here and there. Oh, and she stole my quartz.
Oh,
I had a quartz
using
over
it
here
to hold the paper. So here you go.
Yeah, so we had a quartz in here too for the energy. So we did have that.
So I guess the biggest thing is I wouldn't be judging the way one person does it or another person does it. There's a bunch of different ways. There's a bunch of different belief systems, if you want to call it belief systems, whatever. People even judge that. It's however you want to do it. Think about all the different countries and all the different places and all the different times. So
some place there's going to be somebody probably agrees it dead on with you, but chances of somebody agreeing dead on, it's not there.
They're not always going to be the same.
Kind of work together.
Yeah.
Let's work together and, learn from each other, because you may be doing something different than I'm doing. I may be doing something different than you're doing. Just kind of learn from everybody else and take what resonates with you, what you like the best.
And throw out the rest and just chill out about it. But do I think that this trend, is it a trend? No, I think it's something that, there's nothing wrong with trends. I think it's a revival, it's a resurgence, and I think that it runs the gamut of beliefs and practices, and I think it's something that honestly is pretty much here to stay, and I think that's a really good thing, and I think it's a good thing that people are opening their minds to different ways of looking at things. Did we have anybody that had any questions or anything like that? So you guys, thank you so much for being patient with us, being a little bit late today for our first show and episode.
Erica says she'll have it on track next time.
Is she going to be? Yeah, it's all Erica's fault. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for listening to SoulWhat. And I want to say, it's where you get to I'm going to say it again.
Try that one more time.
Why don't you say it? No, I got that look. Oh, that scares me. It's where you get to decide, honestly, what matters for you, for your soul. That's what SoulWhat means. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.